Come with us if you dare into a twilight world of unspeakable horror.
You must die. Everybody must die.
Sample, if you dare, the deadly passion of the vampire lovers. The vampire lovers. Perverted creatures of the night find their victims everywhere. The unsuspecting merrymakers in glittering ballrooms with their young and tender throats. The sleeping beauties whose troubled dreams turn into real, terrifying nightmares.
It was a cat! A huge cat!
For God's sake, save her!
No rest for the vampire lovers. No escape till their evil hearts are stilled for all eternity. If one remains, yes, even one, there will be thousands more. Beware. Beware the cold caress, the kiss that kills. Beware the vampire lovers.
And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to day 21 of the 31 Days of Monsters. Obviously, you know what we're talking about today. Boobs! No, I kid. The Vampire Lovers, which is the actually part of a trilogy. There was The Vampire Lovers, Lust for a Vampire, and Twins of Evil. Ingrid Pitt's only in this one. I guess the others did not meet her standards. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of the Hammer films. I know I'm going to raise eyebrows and the ire of many. I've just, the sets in them always look too well lit, and they always look cardboard, particularly like in the Dracula movies with the castle. The castle looks like a cardboard set to me. I just can't get into it, regardless of how great Christopher Lee looks. And he does look great. He's a great Dracula. But imagine Christopher Lee on the Todd Browning set with the lighting and put that in color. My God, that would have been amazing. And that's true for most Hammer films for me. Now, this one is actually pretty good. I actually like this. This was the first time that Hammer decided to, they're the ones that introduced color and color blood and cleavage into the horror genre. But here they take it one step further and they go full on nudity. thanks to the more relaxed and progressive 1970s. This is from 1970, so you know things were happening in the 60s, and it looks like things were opening up. And this particular film was partnered up with American International, and it was American International that was really pushing for the edge here, which is sort of interesting because American filmmakers tend to be more provincial when it comes to sex and nudity, and particularly back then. But they have no problem with violence. Whereas, in the Brits, they would show boobs at the drop of a hat, but they have a problem with violence, which is why I think I find a lot of the British productions boring. When I watch some of their TV shows and stuff, is that nobody does anything. There's bad fights, there's very little gunplay, and not a lot of action. But of course, there's exceptions. But that's just my overall feel, if you will. This is part of what I said was the Karstein trilogy. It follows that family. I have not seen the other two movies, Lust for a Vampire or Twins of Evil, but now that I know about them, I'm definitely going to seek them out, and maybe we'll put them on the list for next year. Ingrid Pitt is coming off her performance in Where Eagles Dare, and is just gorgeous in this. She's really lovely, and what I liked about this, it started off slow. I have to say, I thought the movie started off slow, but things got going after a while, and they were exploring different things. The vampires look great. The girls look sexy, and their fangs. You saw that sequence there in the beginning, in the trailer. Where the girl opens up her mouth, with the fangs, and I thought those looked really great. This does have atmosphere, which is which I like. The fog laden ground and stuff like that. This is a solid outing. The ladies are lovely. They give you plenty to look at, and it's a solid vampire outing. They touch on lesbianism, although I find it ironic that there's sort of mixed messages when you read up on it. Ingrid Pitt says that she didn't play it that way. She didn't feel like that there was this lesbian thing going on, this theme going on through the story. But then you read other quotes from other people that said, "Oh yeah, she was disappointed in that aspect." And so I don't know what the truth is there. The producers who were told by the English censors to cut that stuff, and they said that, but it's part of the book. It's in the book. Is it Carmela? I think it is the name of the book that this movie is based on. So they let it pass. But there's sort of a lot of disagreement on how hard that was pushed and what the actors felt for it about it. But solid movie. Would I watch it again? I don't know. Probably not. I'd give this one a 6. Let's see what you guys think. All right, Dr. Mask is here. He says, "Hail, Graham. Hail, vampire lovers. Past Master Dan." Optic Racer says, "Ooh, this movie's so cool and sexy." JP Roca, what's good? Chris Thacker, hail chat. I put in here, word of the day, Monster Kids is boobs. Rob Fellows is here. He can't stay with us, but he'll catch up later. Okay, Rob. Sorry to miss you. His quote of the day, "Look at all those pretty dresses." Believe me, no one was looking at the dresses. R. Enosh says, "Hey, would you say this is better than the Moth Diaries take?" Didn't see it. Don't know. Bloody Drake is here. I'm reading hail. Bloody Drake is here, and he says, "Hail, chat." Marcus Kellegrew. Leg Kick 1. Malbrained, who likes Ingrid. JP says those dresses are too high cut. Couldn't they have took a little risk? Our Enosh says he likes the vampire death scene. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Of course, you've got Peter Cushing in it. You know that always elevates it. And I guess he was sort of a last minute addition to this film. Oh, Malbrain has seen all three. He says Lust for the Vampire is not good, but Twins of Evil is the best of them. Oh, okay, cool. I will check that out. Chris Thacker says, Arg, can't stay too long. My plane is landing soon. All right. Well, Chris is either at the airport or on a plane. But he's a gamer. He's here, folks. Stippling Vaughn said, Hammer hater? Boo. Now show me one that's great. Show me one that stands up. There's a couple Dracula ones. Like I said, I like the later ones. Like Dracula AD 1972. Where Dracula fights hippies. That one's really cool. But a lot of those early ones, like Horror of Dracula, the sets suck. The Frankenstein one, Curse of Frankenstein, it's okay. I'd rather watch 1931's Frankenstein. Leg Kick One says, I saw a pretty good movie called The Final Girls. Look it up for next year. The Final Girls, okay. Doc Brewski asked the question, how the hell are we on day 21 already? I know, right? Just 10 days left. Bloody Drake says, might just be the best looking Hammer horror film. Yes, they got the photography right in this one. They focus the optics on all the right places. Ooh, so Optic Racer says, oh, so we like this one, don't you, Mr. Nolan? Shocker. Oh, so we like this one, don't you, Mr. Nolan? We like this one. I'm not sure if he's talking about. Not sure. Clarity, Optic Racer, clarity. Don't know what you're saying there. Christopher Lee played Dracula the most of any actor. That's true. At least on film. Lugosi played him on the stage a lot. Flatty One just read his Monster Island books this weekend. Great stuff, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. So for anybody who hasn't read them, go to the link at the top, and it's in the description, or you can go to compasscomics.com, and the link is there too to the Indiegogo campaign for that and Joe Frankenstein 3. And you can get all the Monster Island books during the campaign as well. So check it out, folks. It's fun. Dr. Mass says the movie started with a decapitation. That's a good way to wake you up. Yeah, she was beautiful too, that girl. Yeah, I figured it out. I filled in the blanks. I didn't think you were speaking Latin. Decapitia. 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 Sounds like it's Latin. Master Dan says, visit the website. Yes. It's all hooked up now so you can get to the campaigns that are live. Did that today, as a matter of fact. JP Roger says, well, if the lesbianism's in the book. Yeah, it's not like they can change the book. Marcus says, boobs always get a 10, movie a 5. I agree with that. Christopher Thacker, Also agrees he's not on his plane yet. Yeah, the beginning is almost freaky with the vampire looking for her shroud and moving freaky. The only vampire part on this obviously lesbian story with vampire overtones. LOL. Lady One says Blood of Dracula is pretty crazy. Yeah, I get them mixed up. I can't remember which one is which because there were so many of those. I think there's 7 of them. 7 of those Dracula movies that Christopher Lee was in. I can't remember which one was which. Is that the one where the priest is uh after him, or is that the one with the girl that works in the pub and and her uncle was a clergy, and Dracula is trying to seek revenge on him and by turning her. Both those were pretty strong. I think that's the one with the pub thing I talked about. I think that's the one that Christopher Lee doesn't even utter a line. Chris says, I think the sets all being the same, always using the same house as part of the Hammer charm. Okay, we can call it charm if you like. Spaceman loves Hammer films. See, I knew I was going to raise the hackles on people. What? He has an Aurora model? We want to see them, Graham. I've got a bunch of them. They're actually I had the original ones as a kid, but I bought the Polar Lights one. I think it's Polar Lights. Back in I think it was late 90s, they reissued them in the original Aurora boxes, not the glow in the dark square ones, but the rectangle ones with all the original paintings and all that kind of stuff. So they're really cool. They're still shrink wrapped. Malbrain says Vampire Circus is one I'd recommend. Also 70s, very wild and surreal. A bit cheap, but the setup is great. Okay. How did you make out with the flood? No, I'm still waiting. I put a call into the insurance today, to my local guy, and then they call the national office, and now I'm waiting to hear from them. So I haven't heard anything. So we'll see. I will keep you guys posted on that. If you weren't here yesterday, I spent all of Sunday cleaning out my fulfillment studio because we went in there to 2.5 to 3 inches of water. A hot water tank had ruptured and was spilling water all over the place, and I added up all the damage, and we're 11 grand in damaged goods at the fulfillment center. So mostly Joe Frankenstein 1 and 2, actually, which is unfortunate. I lost a few Chenoo, a 4 maybe giant size 2-fisted manly tails, but I think close to 200 Joes. Chris is texting on the plane. He's landing shortly. Okay. Dragon Dancer asked the question that I want to know. Who was the guy on the horse, that man in black with the red rimmed cape? We would see him showing up and looking at her. I don't know who that guy was. What was his deal? Does anybody know? Oh, no, Blood of Dracula is Andy Warhol. Can only drink virgin blood, and all the French girls are whores. Same guy from Blade 1 played Dracula. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Dr. Mass doesn't know who he was, what his point in the story was. Um, I don't think we see him early on when the first girl gets decapitated, uh, but we do see him later on with uh, Marcella, Marcilla, whatever her name is, Ingrid Pitt, and he seems to be watching over her. You know what she's doing, and you know, like he's like Elaine said, he's Svengali. Um, I just don't understand what his deal was. Alrighty, let's see. If any of you guys know, let us know. I gotta find out what we're doing tomorrow. Am I caught up? Let's see. Let me get my list out because once again I didn't do it. Here we go. All right. So, Videodrome. I gotta watch Videodrome today. All right. So that's up next. That one's supposed to be pretty freaky. Haven't seen it. Hope you guys like it. Chris Juliano made it. Education, if you like this, you'll probably like Countess Dracula too. Ingrid Pitt is great. Yeah, that's the one she took instead of doing Lust of the Vampire. I guess that vampire tale was not as good a draw for her as Lust of a Vampire, because she didn't play that character again. Bloody Drake says, I assumed he was her vampire master, but it didn't make much sense. Then the scenery kept improving and would forget about the guy on the horse. Yeah. It's almost like the screenwriters forgot about him too. Videodrome is like Altered States. Well, that makes sense. Same director. All right. So that's our homework, guys. We got to get Videodrome in for tomorrow. And I thank everybody for tuning in as usual. Hope you're enjoying these movies as we go through them together. And we will see you then. And tell your friends about Escape from Monster Island. And please back it if you can. Till tomorrow, my friends, you have a great day.